Hello everyone, welcome to my show WARI with Adi. This is mostly a kind of entertaining, comic and casual talk, and I'll be inviting different people and personalities from different sphere of life. You might be already wondering what I am doing here in my own room for this show instead of presenting this show in a shooting spot or studio. Actually, this lockdown has put me homebound like all of you, but this show was already planned to be launched by this time of the year. So, as for now, I would like to request to all of you to stay safe, be healthy, stay home. That's the only way to fight against this deadly virus. Anyway, coming back to the show, I would like to introduce to the very first guest of this show, Wari with Adi. She is a gymnastic enthusiast, a clinical psychologist by profession. She was also the second runner-up of Miss Manipur 2016 edition. She is the one and only Miss Linthoisana Rajkumari. Okay, so let me call her. She's taking time to pick up. Hi, Linthoi. Welcome to Wari with
Hi.
Adi.
Thank you so much.
I'm audible to you, right?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. I hope you are doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing good. And thank you so much, Adi, because it's like a huge privilege to me as a clinical psychologist and as an individual being on the very first show of the season. And I would use this platform to at least spread some mental health awareness. So yeah, I'm so glad you.
You will definitely
Thank you.
expect. There's going to be a very informative session going to be held right now, and I'm really glad and I'm really honored that you are here and being the very first guest of this show. So, how is the lockdown treating you?
Oh, lockdown is obviously difficult, but we have to make certain changes. The most difficult part is the uncertainty created by this pandemic. So you have a lot of changes in your routine and so much of anxiety related to whatever is coming to going to happen post the pandemic. So for me personally, I've been engaging myself in webinars, reading of previously thought of materials that I didn't get time to, and spending quality time with my family and pets. Apart from that, I'm able to, by grace of my profession, I'm able to contribute something for the pandemic. From March 24th, I associated with a few professionals, health professionals, to provide tele-counselling and psychosocial support. And later, with the association of the State Health Department, I've been able to reach few more individuals, and around 30 to 40 individuals have reached out. Other than that, I have also been able to connect people for relief materials to the organization I work with the organization I work with. So YAWOL. So through that, I have been able to help 20 individuals who are migrants, daily wagers, and trans individuals. So these are some of the unreached populations. So I feel very grateful that I'm able to help these people.
Actually, you are doing a great job. I mean,
How is your
my lockdown, you could already figure out.
yeah?
I mean, you are way more productive than me. I mean, I'm being serious.
Oh,
Comparatively, you are being very productive right now. I mean, you are doing an amazing job. And
We are equally being productive in our own ways.
yeah.
Thinking about starting this show at this time, it's like a huge work. So
Yeah.
I think we are doing
And-
our own bit.
And at the same time, let me remind you, the network is really bad. Still, we are coping with it. And rest, I mean, at your free time, obviously you'll be having your free time when you come back home. What do you do?
So I make time for some Netflix, and yeah, I also do spend some time on social media applications. So yeah, I know. Yeah, we do see a lot of.
What's the current show you were watching from Netflix?
Currently, there's a series called The King, which stars Lee Min Ho. So I am enjoying that, and
Everybody's watching that now. It's
yeah.
hype going on with.
And another
What was that
series.
show?
What is the name of the series? There's an Indian Tamil Indian girl starring in that series, and they are based in US. So she was struggling with some identity issues and also trying to find love. So I forgot the name of the series, but yes, I do know that I'm enjoying that.
You can actually later remind me of the same. Actually, I'm interested. It sounds amazing.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I will.
since the day the lockdown started, I haven't watched any Netflix or anything. I mean, it might sound really, unexpected, but I haven't watched any Netflix or anything because I felt very lost. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me.
No, there's nothing wrong because people spend time differently. So you might be having other things that interest you. So and as I recall, you have been attending webinars.
Yeah, I mentioned to her.
Yeah.
I did mention to her.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
So
talking about social media, as you just mentioned about social media, right? As you just
Yeah.
mentioned about social media, nowadays people are so active in social media. The users are increasing day by day. Like you can
Yeah.
see TikTok, Likey, and the live features of Instagram, Facebook. Would you call this an social media addiction going on during this period?
To decide whether it's an addiction or not, that we have to approach the mental health professionals for some assessment. But yes, the usage has increased a lot. It's good that we have social media platforms where we can, spread some positivity at this time. So there are a lot of positive, posts as well as we can expect there's always positives and negatives. So the negatives right now is that there are lots of viral posts that are shared without verifying the authenticity of the sources, and this could be problematic to a lot of people in the sense uh, we can literally damage the life of a person. The first case, a positive case of Manipur, she was victim shamed, you know without appropriate information. So she was victim shamed. Lucky for her, she was able to cope up, but if it was some other individual, it could have been very difficult. So this is happening, and at such a time, it's important that we really check the sources, because wrong informations can lead to a lot more panic than it already is here now. So it's we should not really forward messages until and unless it's clear to us that this is a true news. So yeah, that is how we should be careful, and we should comply with the state's cyber crime units monitoring, and take our own precautionary measures as responsible people. That's how we can make the space a positive space.
I mean, looking around, social media is becoming the medium to kill time, and second of all, to get entertained. Because before, I mean, it's lockdown going on. We can't go out for shopping. We can't go out for watching movies in theater. So it's becoming to kill time and also to get entertained. But at the same time, as you just mentioned about the negative impacts, like so many misinformations are getting spreaded, and also communal hatred is also going on nowadays. And talking about
Yes.
TikTok and Likey, people are going certain extent to get views, like
Yes.
extreme over. And I was reading a news there. It was mentioned that there were two families from rural India, and they got immediately admitted to the hospital because they were following some home remedies for coronavirus, which was viral in TikTok. So this is how it's becoming, because for me, I think it needs to be urged to this app that authenticity should be there, before posting and everything. And nowadays people are believing it really fast because it's been shared on social media, so it would be true only. Yeah. And nowadays
Yeah.
self isolation and this everything going on, we can't go out, we can't meet our friends, and we are so worried about our loved ones and all. So how are you coping up? Like, you miss going out with your friends, you miss going out for dates.
I'm making positive use of technology. The distancing we are having right now is physical distancing, not social distancing. So I'm still able to reach out to the people I care about, people who are close to me. So either video calls or just regular calls and even messages, and that's how I'm able to cope. And I think it should be in everyone's mind that I have to have some positive impact to the person that I am calling. So rather than talking about panicky news, I could rather share about what is going on and how I am coping and how my friends are coping. So this is very important. If I'm calling my friends because I have a phone and I can, and I'm spreading news that can threaten them or make them anxious, then I'm really not helping.
Okay, so I feel like divorce is becoming one of the reason for or say the answer to lazy husband syndrome, because nowadays comparatively to years back and the generation nowadays, women are more vocal comparatively, and that's how it is. And I hope it changes, and the the role and the status of women gets better and gets recognized.
Yes. Yes.
Just not just actions speak louder than words, not just words ki ha women are this like this, and but action does speak louder. So anyway, let's play a game. I actually prepared a game for you. So it's called If You Could, and yes, all you have to do is just answer. So shall we start?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so the first question is, if you could choose any two famous people to have dinner with, who would they be?
I actually want to name three, but I'll stick with two. If you are okay, I'll name three.
It's fine, three.
Okay. The famous and very respected couple, the Obamas, Barack Obamas and Michelle Obama. So I think conversation with them would be really fruitful, and I think I really enjoy the dinner. And the third person that I would really like to have dinner with is Ellen. Ellen DeGeneres. Yeah, I think she can make any moment hilarious. So.
True, true.
So next question is, if you could be any animal, if you could, what would that animal be?
Okay, animal, if it's any mythical animal, it would be a unicorn. I know it's a very cliched answer, but if it's a real animal, then I think I would go with my sun sign, Capricorn. So I think I kind of relate, even though I don't really believe in this things, but I kind of relate with that animal. Shy, at the same time, vocal about things, and very straightforward, and clear-headed. I think I'm very clear-headed and ambitious. Yes, I'm very ambitious, and sometimes I need to remind myself of my roots and my ground to.
Okay, so the next question is, if you could do anything in the world as a career, what would that career be?
Mm, Career-wise, I think I would like to be, carry on with my gymnastics career, because in this lifetime I'm not able to, take it very high. So I had to end my career very short because of lack of family support.
Yes, I introduced you as a gymnastic enthusiast and all, and I want to know when this enthusiasm developed. Like when this happen? When did this happen?
I think it was the Olympics in 2004 or 2000, 2000 I guess, 2000. So my father, he used to let us sit and watch rhythmic gymnastics. So and apart from that, synchronized swimming. So I kind of fancied the idea of putting makeup on while while you are actually doing sports. So that combination is like very unique. You apply makeup while you are being athletic. So that idea, allowed me to kind of urge my father to let me join gymnastics, and that's how I entered gymnastics. But I couldn't get to pursue rhythmic gymnastics, where there's a lot of artistic things,
When was the
creativity.
last time?
The last time, as in practice or any competition? The last time I attended a gymnastics competition was in 2010, and that was my last ever gymnastics competition. And after that, I had to quit my career and pursue my studies further as a psychologist. So I was given two choices by my parents. Either I stay in Manipur and pursue the modeling or pageantry career that I want and also do gymnastics, or go to Chennai and pursue psychology. And I ended up picking psychology. So I think that was my priority at the time.
Still, I guess you participate in pageants, and at the same time, do you still have any, hope that you would be, going back to gymnastics after 10 years?
After 10 years, I still wish to, even now I have dreams of, standing on the victory stand, winning a medal. So I think it's an unfinished dream. So even if I'm not able to, participate in a competition in future, I think I'll still be associated with the Gymnastics Association, and right now I'm part of the Imphal East Gymnastics Association. And yes, in future, if I get some time, like if I'm able to make some time for pursuing gymnastics, I think I'll pursue for judging courses, and as a sports psychologist in that capacity. So that's how I can contribute right now.
I wish and hope for the best for you.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next question is, if you could have someone follow you around all the time, like a personal assistant, what would you have, them do it? And who would that person be?
I'm really bad in social media games. I really cannot cope up. So,
So basically, you want a social media manager.
yes. People say that after winning a pageant, you should have been really popular by now, but I am not a popular face because I really cannot manage social media. So
You have to be active.
yeah, you have to be active. So I think I'll get I'll let my assistant manage my social media other than
Who would
anything.
that person be?
If that, oh my god, I think I would love to have Cara Delevingne.
Wow. That is something which is impossible.
Impossible, but yes, I really wish it was possible because in 2013 Victoria's Secrets, she mentioned that she had 2.5 million followers. So by that time, I think she was the highest followed at that time. So I think she knows some tips and tricks to make your account popular.
And I hope that you get more than 2.5 million
I haven't even reached 2K mark. Let's hope so.
Anyway, if you could be immortal, what age would you stop aging at and why?
Oh, I would love to, be 14 right now. I would like to stay 14 forever. Scientifically speaking, our brain is like the most, I don't know how to say, most functional, where you can really access your potential is around that age, 14. So from then on, the degradation of our neurons and all start somehow. So 14 is where you can bloom fully, and you also look your best, You have the glow on your skin,
In fact, it's glowing till now.
Really?
Yes.
But yes, I applied some foundation today, so it's cheating.
Anyway, it's been a very fun, if you could, game session going on, even though it was just like few questions. Anyway, coming back to some serious discussion, this coronavirus has affected all the people, like be it physically as well as mentally. And talking personally, there has been so many changes in the state of my mind also. And changing as clinical psychologist, what do you have in your mind about the mental health of people during this pandemic going on?
All of us have are experiencing the stress in regard to COVID-19, especially because all of our routines have seen a drastic change, and there are certain uncertainties in regard to this. We have concerns about our economy, we have concerns about our own finances, concerns about our coping mechanisms. How will we cope up when we have the recession, and how do we manage our career across this. So that being there, those who are even more affected during this time are the people who already have existing mental health concerns, those who are victims of domestic violence, the people who are staying in rehabilitation centers right now, the people who are experiencing substance use withdrawals because of lack of access, and even more the access to healthcare professionals. So these are all lacking, so we are very much affected, and people deal with this differently. So some people might be better at coping in such situations, while others might not be. So the vulnerable population might have a more difficult time coping. So we can see some updates, like spread across, like if somebody is not being productive at this point of time, are being called lazy, being put in a box, in a certain box where they are stereotyped as people who are useless. So we should be careful as individuals to see whether somebody is struggling with certain mental health issues, and not make such remarks like lazy or useless, because all we can do right now is be the support, emotional support for others. So apart from taking care of ourselves, we should also be remembering that what we do has an impact on others. So we all know that right now it's only physical distancing and not social distancing. So we can connect with our near and dear ones, our close ones, through technology. So when we do that, we should be aware that first of all, I am in touch with the authentic information, and when I talk to somebody, I am not gonna spread panic. So if I am panicked, I have to approach a mental health professional, and this other person that I am talking with should also not receive panic from me. So we can share tips about how we are coping. So coping right now could be maintaining the contact with our close ones by keeping it concerned that we are not creating more panic. then taking care of our physical health, because movement is so much restricted right now. So what we can do is, as also mentioned earlier, we have to keep on producing the endorphins in our body by at least exercising for 10 to 15 minutes a day, drinking enough water, staying hydrated, and reconnect, even strengthening the family bonds, and by looking back at our old hobbies and interests that we left off somewhere and trying to pick it up. And yeah, these are some of the ways.
About your mental
Right now, but talking about self-sufficiency and self-awareness during this pandemic going on, and also in general, I want to know about that more, about the self-sufficiency and self-awareness.
uh, we have an ample amount of time right now where we can reflect on our lives. So self-awareness is when we are aware of our own strengths, vulnerabilities, and where we can work on and how. So this can only be possible if we are able to go into ourselves deeply, rather than denying certain facts about ourselves. We should be able to accept that we as human beings are not perfect. We have our certain flaws, and we have our own strengths. But how do this go together, and will my flaws be turned into strengths? We have to question ourselves in such manner. So what is the purpose in my life, and what meaning do I have in our lives? So these are the certain things that we need to question ourselves. And I think this will add to more fruitful living post the pandemic, because right now we have assessed our own life through different perspectives. So post the pandemic, we should be able to contribute more, not just as an individual, but towards the, not just to the people, but towards the environment. Because right now what we need is to realize that we're all together in this, and how much ever we can, we have to contribute in our own little ways. So that's one thing. And self-sufficiency right now is very important, because we never know what is going to happen. The pandemic situation is very, very uncertain, because right now even those who have recovered in China and South Korea, they are testing positive again. So even the health professionals who are dealing with this directly are not sure of the, not clear about the nature of this virus. So while we are still trying to recover, we are also expecting the second wave. So rather than panicking about it, we should be taking matters into our hands by doing our own bits. For example, if the market is going to be closed like this for such a long time, how do I support myself? How do I make things available for me? So the old practice of kitchen gardening is also reviving right now, as also is reported in Imphal Free Press. And yeah, how do I produce more electricity and not from the solar energy? So things like that we should be taking into concern.
Yeah, and not only is this threat of this new virus very scary, but many of the people are suffering life challenges too. There are people who are having hand to mouth life, and there are people who are earning daily wages. Life would have been really hard for them right now in this situation. What steps do you have in your mind that government should take up for this situation to be normalized for these people who are suffering life challenges at the moment?
Okay, the government, is doing their bit, and it's quite efficient considering our situation right now. If it was a different scenario, it would have been difficult. And for the short term, other NGOs, CSOs, small businesses and even individuals are pitching in to cover for the unreached populations. So they're doing their own bits, and I think the government should rather focus focus more on how the electricity, and then cooking gases and the rentals are to happen, because if we are receiving the enough relief, enough food rations, and if we are not having proper regulation of water and electricity and cooking gases, then it becomes more tough. So the government should be putting more focus on that right now, and in the long run there should be more researches.
Yes. That's it for today. Thank you so much, Jay Linthoi, for gracing us with your presence virtually. Before we end this, before you leave the conversation, I would like you to deliver something to the audience who are watching here, who would be watching this, all the viewers, that if you want to deliver anything, any messages to them.
I always say we should love ourselves, and earlier I used to say, we should love ourselves for us to be able to love others. But right now I have, adapted to a different ideology that, even if we are not able to love ourselves, we should be able to love others. And for now, let's maintain physical distancing and follow the government protocols and stay safe at home. And meanwhile, start exploring and reflecting on our lives, and have fruitful journeys ahead.
Thank you so much, Jay, for joining me in the very first episode of WARI with Adi. I hope you stay safe, healthy, and all the very best for everything you do. So, yes, bye. Thank you so much for joining in. Mayang wari sa nungare, no po sa dumno e mayayda. At the same time, most importantly, kana bayaba information mayam sa phange. And lastly, Jaylin thoina mention daw giba psychosocial support ki maramda adugi link amadi phone number mayam daw hoyi description box da hapchurabani. So guys, let's find out for today. Lastly, please don't forget to subscribe this channel, Purple TV, and also hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever we post video. And yes, please like and share this video. Bye!